This video is brought to you by Soundcore. The long-awaited Liberty 4 Pro are here. Today we're going in depth. I'll be scoring and ranking them in 10 categories against 28 earbuds. Retail price is $129 US, so they're one of the cheaper earbuds on this ranking. And it's pretty close in price to the current earbud ranked number 1, the OnePlus Buds Pro 3. They're going to be a tough bud to beat. Now let's get into category number 1, comfort. And this is a very similar design to the Liberty 4, it's just slightly larger overall. So you get the same moderately deep fit. The build quality is the same as usual for Soundcore, not premium feeling, but relative to the price, feels solid. I like that you get 6 sizes of ear tips going from extra small to extra large. So they get a score of 8 out of 10 here. You're not getting as light of a feel of the earbuds that have a score of 9. A lot of those buds have a slightly more shallow fit, just feeling like less in your ear canal. This is just how they fit me though. It's gonna be a bit different for everyone. Now category 2 is the security of the fit. And I've used this for about 2 weeks straight in my weight training sessions, and I had no issues at all. The buds staying super securely, lying down for a bench, leaning over for a row, they barely budge out of place. But I do find this moderately deep fit just works better for me. It depends if you like a more shallow fit or a bit of a deeper fit. I took them for a quick run as well, and you get minimal body-borne noise from the impact you make on the ground and heavy breathing reverberating through the ear tips. And if you want to hear surroundings when running, the transparency mode works quite well at not picking up too much wind. So overall, solid stuff for runners. So I'm giving them a score of 8 out of 10 here, as I do for most earbuds, unless you get like a wingtip or a hook design. And if you like using your earbuds when training, you get an IPX5 sweat and water resistant rating. Now, category 3 is case and battery life. So you get an advertised 10 hours with the buds and 40 hours in total with the case. And it's only slightly less with noise cancelling on. The fast charge here is very impressive. Chuck the buds in the case for 5 minutes, and you're gonna get 4 hours of playback on the earbuds. And you can also charge the case wirelessly. Now the case is on the chunkier side. It's about middle of the pack when it comes to overall thickness. Still easily pocketable though. But here it is compared to the thinnest case that I currently have tested, the AirPods Pro 2. And now I've got to say the gloss finish is pretty funny. You get to see a warped face every time you open the lid. And that lid is actually see-through on the black and the blue version, so you can see that screen through the actual lid. Oh yeah, there's a screen on the case. I didn't mention that. So that touch bar on the front gives you control of it. By default, it'll show the battery of the earbuds and your ambient control options, so you can swipe left to turn the transparency mode on, swipe right to turn your noise cancelling on. You can also add in a spatial audio toggle, atmospheric pressure, find my buds, and remote camera. And the harder you swipe, the quicker you'll kind of swipe between your options. The sensitivity here is okay. Sometimes I'll go for a small swipe and it won't respond, or I'll swipe and it'll skip past 2. But you can double tap to select or go back, and it works pretty well. That remote camera could come in handy. Being able to switch between EQs would have been a bit handier rather than having to go into the app, but you can do this with spatial audio, so I'm not sure if there's an issue with adding EQs saved onto the case, where normally it's saved on the earbuds, but it should be able to be saved in the case as well, so a potential update down the track. But the main benefit here is being able to see the exact earbud and case battery whenever you take the buds in and out of the case. Still, with the solid earbud and total battery, I'm scoring them an 8.5 out of 10. The higher ranked buds have a more compact case, similar battery life, and some also have dust and water resistance in the case. On the case. The case is dust and water resistant. You can also get this case for free at the moment for some caseception action. I personally wouldn't use one, but you might, so you can get one for free. Now, category 4 is controls. And this is solid stuff here. You get a combination of squeeze control, swipe control, and solid customization. The holy trinity of control. So you get a single, double, triple squeeze, and long hold. You get a nice click feedback, and the swipe control is on the inside of the bud, same as the AirPods Pro 2, but I'd say the sensitivity is better on the Pro 4. Super responsive, you get a nice beep feedback every time you swipe down for volume down, swipe up for volume up. So with the added swipe control, this means you can play pause, skip tracks forward and back, adjust your ambient control, and adjust volume up and down, even when using one earbud at a time. You can also customize the left or right earbud. So the single press, you can change to track control. The double, triple press, and long hold, you can have set to play pause, track control, voice assistant, or ambient control. And that swipe control is gonna be locked to volume up and down. Where on a pair like the OnePlus Buds 3, you can change that to track control. But you also get wearing detection here, so this will automatically pause and play music when you take one or both earbuds out of your ear. And if you take one bud out with noise cancelling on, with the bud in your ear, that'll turn noise cancelling off, so you don't have noise cancelling on in one ear, which sounds a bit weird. Now I did notice the wearing detection randomly wouldn't work sometimes. It'd be the left earbud or the right earbud. To fix it, I would just put the bud in the case and take it out, then it would start working again. So a small bug, I think this could be fixed with firmware. And you also have the option to deactivate your controls when using the wearing detection. So if you take one bud out, you can't adjust the controls accidentally. By default, that's on. You might as well leave it on. And Easy Chat now joins Soundcore's earbuds. This was originally just on the Soundcore headphones. So if you have noise cancelling on and music playing, if you start talking to someone, it'll bring your volume down and turn your transparency mode on so you can hear a conversation without taking your earbuds out of your ear. And when you stop speaking, you can choose between 5, 10, and 15-second increments for your noise cancelling and music to turn back on. Now this voice detect isn't on the level of, let's say, Sony's or AirPods, where with those buds, if you cough or like clear your throat, it's not gonna activate, or on the 4 Pro, it will activate. Still, they're getting a solid 9.5 out of 10. The OnePlus Buds 3 give you the same control, but with better customization, and their wearing detection has skin detection. So you can chuck a bud in your pocket and it won't activate. But the 4 Pro does give you Easy Chat, so they're both the best when it comes to controls. All right, category 5 is connectivity. So you're getting Bluetooth 5.3, SBC, AAC, and LDAC. I thought they'd have Bluetooth 5.4, but really not an issue. You get the usual multi-point connection here, so you can connect 2 devices to the earbuds at the same time, and it has multi-point takeover, so if you have media playing on one device, you can play it on your other device, and it will pause that device automatically. You can also use one earbud while you leave the other in the case, and it now works in mono mode, so you're going to hear the left and right audio channel, even when using just one earbud, where with previous Soundcore earbuds, mono mode did not work. Now you don't get a low latency gaming mode here, which was on the Liberty 4 NC, but the Liberty 3 Pro and Liberty 4 didn't have a low latency gaming mode. So the latency here for gaming is not great, especially if you're into quicker reaction games like shooters. And this was tested on an iPhone 15 Pro using AAC, which should give you the lowest latency. Still, the final score here is an 8.5 out of 10. You get LDAC, mono mode, and multi-point with takeover, which is nice to see. All right, category 6 is call quality, and I run through 3 tests here: a quiet room, simulation crowd noise, and a simulation windy city with construction. Now before we go through the samples, you can't mute your microphone using the touch controls, and you also can't switch between noise cancelling or transparency. If you want to do that whilst on a phone call, you need to jump into the app. I thought the issue was because the long hold is normally an ambient control option. That'll change to ending a call or rejecting a call. But even if you change your ambient control to, let's say, a double tap, you still won't be able to do that with your controls. You need to go into the app. Still, they're getting a score of 8.5 out of 10 here. I think it's slightly worse than the Liberty 4, but here are some samples compared to the Liberty 4 so you can hear it for yourself. All right, here's a Soundcore Liberty 4 in a quiet room. All right, here's a Soundcore Liberty 4 Pro in a quiet room. All right, now we're going to see how the microphones block out some simulation crowd noise. All right, here's a Soundcore Liberty 4 with some simulation crowd noise. All right, here's a Soundcore Liberty 4 Pro with some simulation crowd noise. All right, now I've got some city noise, some construction noise, and some simulation wind. All right, here's a Soundcore Liberty 4 with some city noise, construction noise, and simulation wind. All right, here's a Soundcore Liberty 4 Pro with some city noise, construction noise, and simulation wind. All right, category 7 is app customization and extra features. So I'll cover everything here and go into a bit more detail later. So you can get the Soundcore app on iOS or Android. And the homepage has all your main features. You have your earbud and case battery, ambient control options, sound customization with a hearing test, spatial audio options, a hearing preference test, tons of EQ presets, and an 8-band EQ. The next tab has your control options, and that settings tab at the top right will have your less common customization. So you've got your easy chat toggle, leakage compensation, safe volume to make sure you don't lose your hearing, wearing tone and prompt tone, connected devices, an ear tip fit test, case settings, auto power off, find my buds and case feature, which will emit a beep from the case or the buds, your option to add a widget to your home screen, then your firmware updates for the case and the earbuds. So that's a lot of customization. They're getting a score of 8.5 out of 10. I'm adding in the extra half point for the case screen as the extra feature. That's why the Sennheiser Momentum Sport have that extra half point with the heart rate sensor in the actual earbud itself. Now the Soundcore Liberty 4 also has a heart rate sensor, but you have to use it in the Soundcore app, so it's not really that useful. But anyway, there are so many small differences when it comes to this category. So if you want to see all the small differences, you can check it in the spreadsheet, link below. Now onto category 8, noise cancelling, and how I test my noise cancelling. I chuck on my soundbar nice and loud, and I'm playing simulation plain noise and crowd noise, so I get low, middle, high, consistent, and inconsistent sounds. And here is the scoring for all the earbuds on my ranking. So the Liberty 4 Pro getting a score of 8 out of 10. The higher up you go in score, the reduction in middle and high frequencies starts to improve. Still, you get strong noise cancelling here. It's only slightly better than the Liberty 4 when it came to the crowd noise test. Plain noise was about the same. but these have an actual airplane mode, which will measure the air pressure to improve the noise cancelling strength, which I'm not flying at the moment, so I can't test that. But when I fly next, I'll check it out. Now you can customize the strength. You have 5 levels. You can do that in the app or on the case. When it comes to white noise hiss, it's barely noticeable, even in a quiet room. And you also have an automatic wind noise reduction toggle you can turn on. So if the mics start to pick up wind outside on a windy day, for example, you won't hear that wind coming through the microphones. But even then, with this off, I noticed they didn't pick up wind too easily. And if you want to use noise cancelling with one earbud, with the other in the case, you can do so, but you do need to go into the app to turn noise cancelling on. You can't turn it on your controls. Now, when it comes to EQ shift, this is always a bit of an issue for Soundcore earbuds. So this is how your sound quality changes with noise cancelling on, compared to transparency, compared to noise cancelling off. Now, going from noise cancelling to transparency, there's not too much of a difference, which are going to be the 2 main modes that you use. So that's good. With noise cancelling off, I noticed about a 5% bass increase and 5% treble reduction, which is about on average for most earbuds with noise cancelling. You're always going to expect more of a difference with noise cancelling off. All right, category 9 is the transparency mode. And this is overall Soundcore's best transparency mode. Still not amazing though, because all their previous earbuds, the transparency wasn't that good. Still, the clarity here is pretty decent. Voices get picked up quite well. It is ever so slightly muffled. Distant noises get picked up quite well. It's clear enough, just not the best. There is a noticeable amount of occlusion, so when I would speak myself, I get a little bit of that blocked ear effect. And the white noise is on the higher side here. Now you can turn the strength down, you get 5 levels of customization, but you want to have it on the max setting because even then the clarity could be a little bit better. So you can bring it down, reduce the white noise, but your clarity will reduce. But you also get the same automatic wind reduction that the noise cancelling has. So the overall score here is still an 8 out of 10, pretty solid stuff. But now onto the final round, sound quality. And starting with my max volume test, I got just over 120 decibels here. So these go incredibly loud, more than enough volume that you'll need. A weird bug I noticed relating to volume though is the sound randomly going all tinny and just sounding kind of strange. This would mainly happen when I would take the earbuds out of the case and chuck them in my ears. Then after a couple of seconds, it would go back to the normal sound quality. It would also happen when switching between EQs and spatial audio. So it turns out this is the adaptive sound leakage compensation. So when I turn that off, this no longer happens. So an easy fix. Now let's quickly cover spatial audio. So you get it here with head tracking, and most of the modes do not sound great. It's your usual spatial audio with a lot of echo and reverb. I'm not a real fan of spatial audio. The only mode that actually sounds decent is the gaming mode, surprisingly. So it doesn't seem like it's trying to push the sound too far in front of you. If anything, it improves the instrument separation. But the downside here is once you turn that on, you can't EQ the buds. So I don't know, a cool option there to have. That probably should have been the music mode, but it's game mode. But now onto the actual sound quality itself, and you're getting the classic bass boosted Soundcore tuning, which you either love or hate. I don't mind it, and I think this is their most refined version of it. Still, when it comes to bass on the stock tuning, it's a little bit bloated, so this is the EQ I like to use, just slightly dialing down the bass and boosting the mids, and I have to dial down that treble ever so slightly as well. So this retains the bass boosted tuning, it's just a bit cleaner. This is still powerful bass with nice deep sub bass rumble, full mid bass, but at the same time, not getting too over the top. It's ever so slightly on the boomy side, but again, you can just dial it down in the EQ a bit more if you want. The mids here though are some of Soundcore's best. I usually find myself boosting the mids quite a bit with the Liberty 4, the 4NC, and the Liberty 3 Pro. So overall, your vocals and instrumentation stand out much better than those previous 3 earbuds. Now when it comes to treble though, this is where it gets a bit interesting. Not a huge fan of it. I found on the stock tuning, it got a little bit sibilant and harsh at times, more than I would like. So dialing down that upper treble will reduce this, but then at the same time, you lose that nice sparkle and detail that I personally like with my treble. It's still pretty crisp with nice detail, but you're gonna have to use an external app like Wavelet to fix something like this. And when I'm scoring all these earbuds, I'm only customizing it with the built-in EQs, just to keep things fair. So for sound quality, they're getting a score of 7.5 out of 10. So the earbuds that have a score of 8 out of 10, I found it was a treble that was a little bit more standout. And one of the buds I recently reviewed, the OnePlus Buds 3 Pro, which have a score of 8 out of 10, was my main comparison. So I think they sound a little bit better, especially when it comes to that upper treble sparkle. Another small quirk I need to mention is with the Hear ID sound test. So this will measure your left and right ear individually. And usually with Soundcore earbuds, it'll create a personalized sound profile for you, changing the sound of the earbuds. But at least at the time of this video, it just does the hearing test and then nothing else changes and you can't customize it later. Not sure if it's a bug, but if it gets fixed, I'll update it in the comments. But that wraps up all 10 categories. And before we go into the final score, this scoring doesn't mean much because certain categories are going to matter more to you. That's why I created the custom scoring spreadsheet, free to download, link below. So on there you get notes for each score, a specifications tab, a core quality tab, and the personalized scoring is nice and easy. Fill out a number in the importance column, and that'll multiply the entire category, 0 to get rid of it, 2 to double it, 5 to 5x it, and that'll change the total score for all the earbuds. And a quick shout out to Trond, who sorted me out with some code. So once you've done your personalization, underneath it'll rank all the earbuds from highest to lowest. Very cool. Trond, you're a legend. But now the final scores are in, and the Liberty 4 Pro finished in second place with 82.5 out of 100. So despite more bugs than I'd like to see, these are a solid all-rounder. And they're one of the cheapest buds on this ranking. They're going up against buds well over double the price. But there's no denying the OnePlus Buds Pro 3 are still the best overall, but they are slightly more expensive. But overall, solid stuff from Soundcore. And for more on Soundcore, be sure to check out my Space One Pro headphone review right here. A solid headphone I've been using quite a bit. So check out that video. In the meantime, stay picky, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.